My name is John Valentini, and welcome to today's special interview. Today I have the honor of speaking with Deborah from Positive Possibilities Rescue, a nonprofit organization that is changing the lives of homeless animals. At Positive Possibilities, they focus on giving abandoned and neglected animals a second chance at a happy and healthy home. Through sponsorships and volunteers, this organization does the most to make sure every animal is at the utmost care. In this interview, we'll hear more about the amazing work they do, how they make a difference, and how you can get involved. So let's jump right in and learn more about Positive Possibilities and how we can all help give these animals a better future. How's it going, Deborah?
Good, how are you?
So, what inspired you to start this organization?
The biggest thing that inspired me was that I had started working with other rescues, and in working with them, I was finding that medical and other things weren't their first priority. And so I really felt, as wanting to train the dogs, that we would need to know if all of the medical was taken care of first, because if there was something wrong, whether it was sick or upper respiratory or had a bad knee, how would we be able to tell behaviorally what was happening with the dog? So after having the opportunity to work in various different places and with various different rescues, I decided that I wanted to start one. So in 2020, that's exactly what we did.
That's amazing. And why do you think it's so important that every animal has a second chance?
Well, because we don't know what their first chance entailed, number one. And number two, with any pup, their experiences are what makes their life. So they could have had a bad experience with either being in a home where there was a lot of yelling the first time, and so now they may have a little issue with if they hear loud noises or things of that nature. But if we then take them and place them into a second home and give them a novel experience, meaning giving them a chance of something different than what we had to the best of our ability, all of them tend to excel, and basically they rebound back with the sense of love, care, and consistency. And it's so important, because just like us as humans, if we make a mistake, if we fall off on our bicycle, we don't want to just stay on the ground, right? We want to get back up on it. So I believe that every animal that comes through our doors should be given that opportunity. And
that's amazing. So obviously, every process from animal to animal, I'm assuming, is different. But generally speaking, what is the process when an animal first enters your organization?
So the very first thing is medical. So we start by doing a fecal sample, seeing if they have any parasites. If they have a parasite, we immediately get it treated, whether it's something that needs to be treated in 3 days or repeated in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or months. Then from that, the next thing we do is we go through and we do what we call decompression time or quarantine time. We allow them for 2 weeks to stay in quarantine to make sure that nothing blooms out from the transport that they possibly came on. And after that is done, or even sometimes before it's completed, they go right into foster. And our fosters are all over. If it's a dog that has not gone through a 2-week quarantine, then the foster is to quarantine the dog for the 2 weeks before we put the dog out into public or anything of that nature. Once we get the fecal sample back and that's treated, then they start to go right through the process of all of our medical with our veterinarian, which we use Sachem Animal Hospital, and they have been great in helping us do the right thing by every dog that comes through.
So that very well explained the medical process, but for the training process, I'm sure some dogs can come in there already trained and ready to go out to foster care, but are there some dogs that don't exactly meet those standards, and are there any training procedures that you do to maintain that?
Yes, so every dog that comes in, we do a behavioral assessment. We're looking to see, one, if the dog is social, because that's the number one problem. If dogs aren't social, that could cause them to have severe behavioral issues. Once we go through our behavioral assessment, looking at body handling, social ability, confidence, We use hair dryers, vacuum cleaners, cameras, mirrors, food tests we also do to make sure that they're not a resource guarder or possessive over their food. We use skateboards, bring them out by the yard for where there's a dog, other cars going by or other dogs, and we take them all through that process. So we really have a good idea of what we see, and then we monitor daily with the dogs in our care to make sure that, for example, we see 2 dogs that are getting a little excited over a toy or something. We want to have that worked on as soon as possible, and it's worked on either by the organization of volunteers, or it's worked on just in general by all of us in the back, going back and saying, okay, this dog seems to have an issue, let's work on that to make it resolved before it goes. And if it's an older dog that comes in, we set up what's called an individual training plan for them, and we work with an outside training company that comes in and will train the dogs for us.
And honestly, I applaud how meticulous that process is, because it really seems necessary towards some dog steps to a more proper home. And
Yes.
I really do think that's amazing. Now, I know you do have some of the dogs here that are ready for adoption, so I would love to bring them in and see how some of them are.
Great. So Dobby, I believe, is going to be our first dog that's going to be coming in, and he's a prime example. He is approximately now just about 11 months old, and he had ate part of a crate pan, and so there was a big decision to make: do we euthanize or do we do surgery? And so we worked with our vet and we did surgery, and he is healthy as a horse now today. And this is Dobby. Hi, Mr. Man. Hi, good boy.
Oh my goodness.
What a good boy. He still has his little IV site shaved on his leg from his surgery, but he is such a good boy. He was a rescue that came from Tennessee with his mom and his 11 siblings. We still have his mom as well. And it wasn't a planned rescue for us, right, mister? It's a good boy. It was a rescue that they were going to go to a different rescue organization, and that rescue organization had a medical issue going on and couldn't take them. So instead of them being turned back away, we took them.
What a cutie. Honestly, an amazing dog, and it was an amazing decision to decide to,
Yes.
go through with that surgery. While many other organizations must go through the euthanasia there.
Right.
Oh,
And it's always about resources too. And it's sometimes very hard to make the decision. And he's very friendly.
I can tell.
And even though he's a little nervous with his tail tuck, it's all because of the new environment.
Oh.
Right, mister?
All right, Dobby. Oh, we're staying? We're not going anywhere?
Dobby, what do you think? Let's go, Papa. Let's go.
With me.
Let's go, Dob. Good boy. Good job. Good job, Dob. Good job.
What a cutie. Now again, all of these dogs are actively up for adoption for those that are willing and would obviously want, based off how cute some of these dogs are, to be pet owners and pet dads and moms.
And this is Susie. Susie came to us with her puppies. She had heartworm.
Oh, where are we going?
Susie is just about 3.5 years old. She is a loving dog as well. And the biggest reason, talking about every dog, Susie, her biggest reason for being with us is that she just has not been adopted. Nobody has really even filled out an application on her or looked at her, for any reason whatsoever.
Is that?
And she's drooling on your shoe.
And I'm assuming that's due to the older the age.
The older the age is always harder. Some people, have had bad experiences, or they look at, we don't know what the full history of the dog is in those 4 years, even though we know that we have done our due diligence to find out, as best we can with her. But she's sweet with everything, even sweet at the vet. She's gone to the beach. A few of our volunteers have taken her to the beach, right, Mama? And she spent the day at the beach with no issue. But when they're older, you can't tell their whole history. And so by not being able to tell their whole history, some people are reluctant for adopting.
Honestly, I personally disagree. If I was a future owner that was considering dogs, I would definitely pick her up. She really seems amazing. What breed is that?
So she is German Shepherd Husky mix. All of her puppies have been adopted, and we've had her now for, I think the last puppy that was adopted was about 6 months ago, and we've just had her. She's all through her heartworm. She has gone back through and is tested that she's fine now. We've kept her on her monthly preventatives to hopefully prevent it from happening again, and she's just looking for her true second chance and her forever home.
I'm really hoping that through this, hopefully someone will be able to reach out and find that second chance for her, because she truly is an amazing dog.
She is.
Now I wonder, who else is on this list? Who else will be coming up?
So we have some of their pups from what is called our reindeer litter, and those dogs are Donner, and there's Dasher, and there's Cupid, and there's Vixen. I don't know for sure which order they'll come in, but we have those with us as well. And they came from a litter of 9. They were born on Christmas Day. They're rescues from Georgia. Once they got to us, we had them ever since they were just about 10 weeks old. They're now just about 4 months old. And again, we're looking for people to adopt. All their other siblings have been adopted except for them.
Now, was there a Rudolph in that litter?
There was a Rudolph, and he was successfully adopted.
That's
yes,
amazing.
Yes. And that litter also, after we had them for a while, one of them started to have. They ended up getting what's called parvo, which is also another costly and expensive treatment to put them through, but they're now all healthy as a horse. So,
now, who do we have here?
this is Donner. This is Donner. Hi, Mama.
Oh my goodness, very
Donner
energetic.
girl. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Hello. I know. Yes, I know. What a good girl. And a loving dog. They're all of the same caliber and love and activeness and excitedness.
So would you recommend, for example, a dog such as this to younger kids, or would you want more responsible adults for it?
So Donner is good with kids. I mean, she's done a lot of our puppy yogas and different things that we do, and they've been around men, women, and children. They also did our prison program where we brought them in, and they did some of their basic obedience. Their biggest thing is that you have to make the right match. So if you're a family that is gone away 16 hours of a day, this would not be the dog to have in your household, because as you can see, she's just looking constantly for the attention, wanting to do, but good with all kids.
What a baby.
and just a love. They really are.
How long has she been?
So we've had them since they were about 8 to 10 weeks old, and they're now just about 4.5 months.
You ready?
Oh, what a beautiful baby.
Let's go.
Bye. Oh.
Wrong way.
Oh my
Don't be
goodness.
on the camera. Come on. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. Switch. You can bring them.
Now, I'm not very big on dog breeds. What breed is that? That's a beautiful.
So
what
they're a
breed?
mixed
Who is
breed,
this?
and this is Cupid. Cupid, come on, Cupid, right here. Come here, Mama. Hey, come here, baby girl. Cupid. Oh yes. Hi, come here, baby. Come here. Yes.
They're all very energetic.
Yes, so they're all out of the same litter. They were all born, obviously, Christmas Day. But you can tell them waiting, right, to come out is what we've got here, right? And Cupid actually is going to be meeting a family this weekend. So
Really?
hopefully that will...
Cupid, where are you going, baby? Bye, Cupid.
Bye, Cupid, out she goes.
She has made her own decision to head out early.
Right. It's more fun out there.
Yeah.
More going on.
So, as I was saying earlier, what breed is that?
So they're a mixed breed. I honestly, I don't know. When we rescue, we are told what the sending shelters may have, but as far as I didn't have the mother to, like with Susie's litter, I could say Shepherd and Husky mix, because I don't know the dad. But these guys definitely look like they have lab in them.
Yeah.
One of them that was in the litter was also longer haired than the rest of them. And so we've been saying, based on their information and paperwork, is that there's probably some lab in there's probably some boxer in there, you know, and because they came from down south, there could even be pit bull in there for all I know. But their personalities are, as you saw, they're great, they're loving, and they just are a lot of fun, and they're good with men, women, children, even with cats. Even with cats. So.
Well, I could definitely tell, based on how cute some of these dogs are, that some people might watch this video and definitely want to adopt. What is that process like, and what should some future owners do to prepare for these amazing dogs?
So our adoption process is they would just go online, click on any dog's photo to the Adopt Me, brings them to the platform. They fill out the application. The application is forwarded to one of our volunteers who actually lives in Connecticut, who has adopted from us. And he vets all of the applications. Then after the vetting process is done, meaning their references, their veterinarian, also their house. Once that's done, we then do a phone interview, and after the phone interview, and this is Vixen. Hi, Vixen. Hi, baby girl. Hello. Hi, baby. Hello. I know. What a good girl. Oh, give me your belly. Oh, and what a good girl. I know. What a good girl. So once they're vetted, we have a phone interview with the person. When we do the phone interview, after the phone interview is done with the person, then what we will do is we will take the dog to the individual and bring the dog to their home. And then when we bring the dog to their home, if there is another dog already in the home, we will do a interaction with their dog with a professional dog trainer.
Oh, okay.
And then if all goes well, then the dog stays there at that point in time for adoption.
Little troublemaker
I know,
over
they're
there.
always trying to go underneath everything. Always. Dasher.
Ooh, Dasher.
And this is Dasher. He's the male out of the litter that's left. Hi, mister. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy.
What a cutie.
Believe it or not, they're all, so this is where, this is where we say it's so hard to decide, because look at how he looks compared to how the others look, right? So if somebody saw him, they may say that he might have some black mouth cur in him because of the way that his muzzle is in coloring. But again, all loves, all gentle, and they've been, you know, sitting in coop for a while. What a good boy. What a good boy. Yes, he's such a good boy.
This is really a beautiful litter, all of them.
Where
And
are
they're
you
all
going?
very energetic.
Where are you going?
great for
I know, hold
kids.
on. You're gonna fall. You're gonna fall. Yes, what a good boy. I know. Give me kisses.
What a cutie.
And then last but not least is Little Miss Pieces. Huh? So her sister's name was Reese, so it was Reese's and
okay.
Pieces. And she came out of a litter that had other dogs that were named Rainbow Potato. And our fosters named them themselves. So she actually, we are hoping, if all goes well, is going to be meeting a family tomorrow who has another dog. So if that interaction goes well between the two, then she will become adopted tomorrow.
It's amazing. Pieces.
Yeah. Go see.
Pieces.
See.
Come here, Pieces. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness. Oh.
She's like, okay, all right.
Oh, where you going, baby? Oh, what a beautiful dog. His fur is so nice.
Yeah, they're all like, they get baths a lot. That's why you're seeing the shedding that you're
Yeah.
seeing on me, right? Plus, it's also they're probably a little stressed just being here. But we bathe the dogs a lot, and what I mean by that is because when they go outside, whether it's at the foster or with us in foster, they're going out and we are combing them down when they come in to make sure there's no ticks on them, and then we will give them a bath if there's more than one dog in a corral in the morning every morning, just to make sure that they're clean and good, right?
So well behaved. Oh, he's
Good girl. She says, get this leash off me.
Bye-bye, pieces.
Bye, Peace. Good girl.
So was that all of them? Mm-hmm. They were all amazing dogs. And remember, anybody can go online to adopt these dogs as long as you fill out the process. And I think all these dogs would be a great fit for any family.
Yes, they would be. They would be.
Now, running a rescue seems to be, it could very well be, a very big challenge. What are some of the toughest parts of your job?
So some of the toughest parts, even though there's so many to discuss in all reality, but it's really, for example, getting volunteers, getting fosters. Even like today, we had more volunteers that were supposed to be here, and then due to unfortunate medical situation, they couldn't come as last minute, but we still have to keep going. The dogs are still gonna pee and poop. We still have to clean it regardless if someone is sick or someone can't be there. So volunteers is hard. A hard part because we can't do it without. It takes a village. We don't have a payroll. Every person is a volunteer. We also on looking at, besides the volunteering, also just looking at like the financial aspect is so hard because it does take a village. And even like looking at Dobby, you know, resource-wise, we put out a plea to try to get help to help him to get through the surgery that he needed to do. And then I think the other big thing is fosters, because we can only pull more dogs if we have more places to put them. And that's huge too. That's a really big problem for getting in directing of it, because the pleas come in all the time for the dogs, and you can't just pick up the phone and add another dog in somewhere to another foster.
Now, obviously not everybody is fit to have an animal in their home. Is there anything else that they can do? You know, what is the volunteer process like? What else can they do for the community to help out this organization?
So they could volunteer in coming and taking a dog for a walk. They could volunteer in bringing a dog to the vet. They could volunteer to help out with an event that we have. They can volunteer with making phone calls to other volunteers to get the screening process done for them. They could also volunteer with coming up with other ideas for us to raise money, to also come up with different ideas than what we're doing, and to just help in any way, bringing in supplies, doing supply drives are also things that we have. So, and you know, time is a huge one for people to be able to give time to be able to make our mission succeed and for us to continue.
Now, how would you like to educate people, especially the youth such as myself, about how to properly take care of animals so there isn't an instance where they need a second chance?
So the biggest thing is when we do an application or we receive an application, we really go through and we'll have that phone call. If they're picking a dog, let's say, like any one of the reindeer litter, you know, whether it was Vixen or Donner, if they're picking one of those dogs and they're going to be gone to work, say, 12 hours a day, that dog is not going to be the right fit. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that when we're matching them up right. And we will tell people this dog isn't good with children under 6, or if you're getting a high energy dog and you're not high energy because of your job, then that's not going to be the right fit for you, because we want to make sure that the stop that we place them in, meaning home that we place them in, is their last stop, and that it is there for life with the persons or the family that takes them.
Now, what are some of your biggest goals? What is your end goal for this organization as a whole?
Wow. So my end goal for this organization and everyone that's in it is to eventually someday have our own facility to where people can come to see the dogs, but not to leave it unmanned 24 hours. So someone actually living there, staying there, so that the dogs are never left alone in case of a fire or anything else that could potentially happen at night. The other end goal is to make sure that we are educating as we go, that people are, you know, we pay for the spay and neuter because we want to make sure they're spayed and neutered. And so we want to make sure that we educate people as we go along the way, and that people understand where and how some of these dogs would or are in the situation at the time that we get them. Like every dog you saw here today would have been euthanized had we not taken them in. regardless of resources, they would have been euthanized. 95% of the dogs that we take in are on a euthanasia list or are under a circumstance that is so bad.
Well, I think through this you have done an amazing job educating not only the audience but myself on how to properly take care of these dogs and which of these dogs need the right home and how to get there. Some final thoughts. What is one message you would like to send to the audience upon your organization?
I think the one message that I would want to send is that it is a true second chance, and we want to make sure that everyone knows the right way to go about giving that second chance, and that it's a lifetime commitment. It's not just, oh, the puppy's cute at Christmas or the puppy's cute at Easter, and now it's July and we want to go to the beach and the puppy's no longer cute. You know, so and getting the puppy as a puppy, it's going to change just like a baby changes, you know, and it is a part of the family. It's not a return item like a shirt or something that you bought in retail.
Well, Deborah, thank you so much for coming down here to educate all of us on how to properly take care of these animals to make sure they don't have to deal with those second chances, and how you do the amazing job of bringing them down here to give them those second chances. I think it is truly inspiring to learn what you have done as the executive director of this organization, and I cannot wait to see what lies in the future for Positive Possibilities. And to everyone watching, if you're looking for a way to make a difference, consider donating, volunteering, or even adopting one of the beautiful dogs we've seen today. Every small act of kindness helps save lives and bring joy to families and our furry friends alike. On behalf of our team here at Team TV and North Shore TV, thank you for joining us. And thank you again, Deborah, for everything you've done.
Thank you.